I glanced nervously at the darkening sky as I walked up to the doorstep of the old Victorian house. The wind howled, sending a shiver down my spine, but I took a deep breath and rang the doorbell. A few moments later, the door creaked open, revealing Mrs. Abernathy, the mother of the children I was about to babysit. "Ah, you must be Emily," Mrs. Abernathy said, her voice quivering with an odd mixture of relief and apprehension. "Please, come in." I stepped inside, the creaky wooden floor beneath my feet adding to the eerie atmosphere of the house. Mrs. Abernathy led me to the living room where I met the two children, Timmy and Sarah. They seemed like ordinary kids, but there was something about their wide-eyed stares that made my skin crawl. "I'll be back late tonight," Mrs. Abernathy said, her tone filled with unease. "I've left dinner in the kitchen. Please make sure the children eat and get them to bed on time. They can be a handful." As she left, I tried to shake off the unsettling feeling that had settled over me. I sat down with the kids, and we began to eat our dinner in silence. The sound of the wind outside seemed to grow louder, as if the house itself was protesting against our presence. After dinner, I suggested we play a game to pass the time. The children's eyes lit up, but their smiles held an eerie quality. We gathered around the coffee table and started playing a simple card game. But as the game progressed, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone else was in the room with us. Timmy suddenly looked up from his cards, his eyes wide with fear. "Did you hear that?" he whispered, his voice barely audible. I strained my ears, and that's when I heard it too, a faint scratching noise coming from upstairs. The three of us exchanged uneasy glances. Sarah clung tightly to my arm, her small fingers digging into my skin. "We should check it out," I said, trying to sound brave. "It's probably just the wind or a loose floorboard." We slowly made our way upstairs, the stairs groaning beneath our weight. The scratching noise grew louder, echoing through the hallway. I felt a knot forming in my stomach, but I had to remain calm for the children's sake. As we approached the source of the sound, a chill ran down my spine. The door to the attic was slightly ajar, and the scratching seemed to be coming from inside. I pushed the door open, revealing a dark, dusty space. Timmy and Sarah clung to me, their eyes wide with terror. With a trembling hand, I flicked on the light switch, but the room remained shrouded in darkness. I reached for my phone to use the flashlight, but just as I did, the scratching suddenly stopped. The room fell eerily silent. "Maybe it was just a rat," I whispered, trying to reassure the children. But even as the words left my mouth, I felt a presence in the room, an icy breath against the back of my neck. The children gasped in unison. I turned around slowly, my heart pounding in my chest. In the dim light, I caught a glimpse of something, a shadowy figure lurking in the corner of the attic. Fear gripped me as I realized that we were not alone. Without a moment's hesitation, I grabbed Timmy and Sarah's hands and sprinted out of the attic, down the stairs, and out the front door. We ran down the street, not looking back, until we reached a neighbor's house. I banged on the door, tears streaming down my face, and begged for help. The neighbor called the police, who arrived at the Abernathy's house soon after. They searched the premises but found no signs of an intruder or any explanation for the scratching sound we had heard. The children and I were taken to the police station, where we waited anxiously for their parents to arrive. As I sat there, shaken and trembling, I couldn't help but wonder what had happened in that house. Was it a ghost? A figment of our imagination? I may never know the truth, but I can never forget the chilling presence that lurked within those walls. To this day, I can't bring myself to babysit in old houses or be alone in the dark. The memory of that night haunts me, a constant reminder of the thin line between the normal and the supernatural, a line that was crossed when I stepped into the Abernathy's home.